Hello! I have been making these videos and they've always been on an update related to my brain cancer and the MRIs and the progress. But I've been meaning to for so long do another video, which is also equally as important to me and Davis in our life, is becoming a parent, right? Now, I have shared on social media build, baby, Bates, because the year that we had build as our word, it played off of building a family. And that's when this whole process got started, or for both of us, for Davis and I. So if I were to do just a quick little flashback, I think in 2019, when I learned about this brain cancer and how this was going to be impacting me in terms of becoming a parent, this broke me. This really made me so upset because in that time period with my husband, with Davis being in school, I knew he was graduating next year. So we were starting the process of like, okay, let's start tracking ovulation, let's get going. And then everything got pulled from underneath me. Now, in case you don't know about that, my brain cancer team at the wonderful Givens Brain Tumor Center had to share with me, you having a natural birth pregnancy is very risky for your health. Risky for my health in terms of the amount of stress that would put under my body could cause a full epilepsy seizure episode, could cause loss of the pregnancy, could impact a lot of different things. So ultimately, what I was told is moving forward with becoming a mother would have to likely be in the form of surrogacy or gestational carrier, whatever you have heard or know about. This was a whole new world, a whole new language, it felt like to me, of like, what the heck is that? So that explains why IVF, why we move forward with this part of the process. Now, also going through the 12 months of chemotherapy and doing radiation for 6.5 weeks, I made the unfortunate assumption that my eggs were ruined, that I was no longer eligible to have natural occurring baby in me, like from me, I should say, not in me, from me. And moving forward with this team, RMIA. They're here in the Twin Cities I believe they're in Woodbury and Edina, and I know they're hopefully moving to another far side in the west sides of the Twin Cities in Maple Grove, but I don't want to speak too soon. It's not my business. But yeah, they worked with me. I started up with them. I saw Dr. Jensen on social media, and I saw that she has been fighting brain cancer herself. So I was like, what better gal to work with if she understands this process? So got connected with them and right away needed to know, like, am I qualifiable? What do my eggs look like? I did this and this and this, and I'm feeling really doubtful. So what I learned is my eggs are actually amazing. I may have shared that in small videos with you guys, but I'm just kind of giving you a 101 on where Build Baby Bates is and why IVF and where are we in this whole process, okay? So this is just a quick recap. So learned that my eggs were good. I also know mentally wise, I am ready to be a mom. I have wanted to be a mom for years, and I have repressed that because I was like, I can't until we learned all of this new information. I would say within the last year or so, right? And also what is most beautiful, I love it, and learning this information, it takes men or husbands a little bit longer to be ready, but Davis is so ready to be a father as well, okay? So we are connected with RMIA, got approval from Givens Brain Tumor to move forward with this process. So on the 17th, I apologize, end of January, I started the IVF process. So what is IVF? IVF is ways to inject into your body into hormone mode to get your eggs ready to be fertilized and go from just when you're regularly in that cycle as a woman, talking a little bit about periods and ovulation. When you're in that cycle, it goes from the original amount to an increased insane amount, and it is a lot of hormones, okay? So what was IVF? It was injections twice a day. So starting off with just once a day injections in the morning at select time frames. So right in my abdomen section, I know I'm a little lower, but we focused on the abdomen section primarily. And also I was instructed to do the shots myself. But Davis and I were like, no, this is a two-part person project. Having a baby is a mom and a dad in this equation. So he stepped up and he was the one that gave me the injections, which is wonderful. I couldn't be more grateful, because thinking about stabbing yourself with a needle for a shot is really hard to wrap your mind around. So he worked with his schedule to make this possible. And so we did this in the morning, and I'll be truthful. Out of the two first shots I had, they lingered on for a while. And I did the shots from the 27th, I believe, of January through the 6th of February here. So those first two, and one of those two really sucked. It did feel like you were just getting a bee sting the whole time. And then after that first week, we moved to 2 times a day. So in the evening, in addition to that morning. So it was double whammies, hormones like crazy, getting uncomfortable, getting super bloated, feeling emotional, I would say, gaining this little belly that doesn't encase a baby, but has lots and lots of follicles that were turning into eggs that then I was able to get removed. So that is why we were doing the injections and the IVF. And let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So like I said, we started off slow, eased into this, got up to 2 times a day. We were also, additionally, with these injections happening, my energy was changing. Again, I said getting a little bit more emotional, especially in the evening time, but I was also going into RMIA to have them check me out. So we were doing ultrasounds to see the progress. So we went from having like 5 eligible regular amount of eggs that would be there during your normal time for ovulation, from that to getting into the 10s and the 20s and almost up into the 30s. So we were seeing progress, and it was really cool to sneak peeks in there when you normally would never see any of that. It was mind blowing for Davis to be like, whoa, look at you, like, and cheer me on along this process. So we did all those things. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Like I said, Davis is already a champion. I couldn't be more proud of him. I would say within this past week, I also want to like bring it even into more reality overall, that we finished our vaccinations on this past week, Monday, where we had our last evening injections. Something, I believe, with the amount of hormones I had in my body created a little bit of nausea, because when you're pregnant and you have hormones, you can get nauseous. So that evening, I ended up having nothing in my body by the time I woke up the next morning. And during that evening of vomiting continuously, I also had to do the trigger shot. The trigger shot makes your body prepared and ready for the removal of the eggs. So that was done at 1 a.m. during vomiting night. So my body was prepared. So therefore, the next day I was able to just get checked in, make sure everything is good-wise, getting blood draw, checking my hormones to make sure we're being responsible, okay? So that was Monday and Tuesday of this past week. Everything was looking good to go. So then on Wednesday, this past week, which is why I'm sharing all of this with you, this is fresh in my head, how it's going, why we're doing all of this, is then on Wednesday, we went in for the egg retrieval appointment. So what was really cool about that is Davis got to be there with me. He didn't watch the egg retrieval, but he was my person to drive me home because I had anesthesia. I will always say this word wrong. Anesthesiologist was there to give me my margarita and put me under. But before that happened, I got the chance to actually see in real life Dr. Janie Jensen, because everything we've done has been via Zoom. So it's great to see her, and she was like, "You're gonna rock this, Nicole. I guarantee you'll have at least 8 to 9 eggs." And I was like, "Woo!" Gone, like within a few seconds. But then they wheel me out and I wake up, I'm like, whoa, did that even happen? It's also a quick procedure. And what's cool about it is knowing that I was ready to go. Dr. Janie Jensen was in there. If you imagine like a pen here, I have an MRIA pen. If you imagine this, she was just in there scooping out the eggs and what was needed, giving this to a woman behind her in this like window and having her actually fertilize it. So that was how that part of this process goes. And Davis was like, honey, he told me this 3 times because it'll make me pretty forgetful, I would say, where he goes, honey, you had 12 eggs, 12. And I was like, what, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know. So getting 12 eggs is phenomenal news when you never know what you're going to get out of this. Now, what we learned again, so we've got 12 eggs, we're excited, that gives us so much more opportunity. What happens the next day, what we learned yesterday, is how many are actually fertilized and ready to rock. Now, when we've got 12, we're not gonna get 12 babies out of this, nor do we want 12 babies. Good for those who have them, God has blessed you. But we needed eggs that were fertilized and ready to rock. So 8 out of those 12s, 8 out of that 12 was not ready to go, but that gives us 5. 5 eligible babies to be taken from its frozen state that it's in now and then given to a surrogate for us to become a family. This to me is one of the greatest blessings that I could be given. I already have Davis, the love of my entire life, an incredible family, friends that are my prayer warriors, me to be a social butterfly with, a church to be involved with, a great job. I have these things. Thank you for all of them. But now what I've been wanting and craving for years and years and years is to be a mom. I have had baby jealousy and a little bit of frustration watching those around me, especially with friends for a few years, but I can see the actual reality now that this part of the process has happened. So that is why we are rejoicing, we are excited, we are happy about working with RMIA, getting medical approval from Givens Brain Tumor Center to go for it, do it, you're healthy, you'll be fine, and to get the actuality out of this. My eggs were not ruined by chemotherapy or by radiation. Nope, they were ready to rock, and now we have 5. So that is the quickest and latest and greatest I could give you on IVF, baby baits, and what's going on behind the scenes. Now, also know that I just had this week, so I'm very fresh in the recovery stage where I haven't shared a ton with anyone yet other than now. So everyone know what is the latest. I am recovering, feeling great today. I'll be continuously calm, collect, recovering this weekend. But now you know, I'll keep filling y'all in as we go through this process together.